Hi there, it's the Red Pipster here, and I was having a discussion online with a lady concerning an interview with AJ, an Australian man who believes that he is not exactly the reincarnation, but the sort of reincarnation of Jesus Christ, and his partner Mary, who is the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene. Mary is her real name, by the way, from what I recall. And she is the sort of reincarnation of Mary Magdalene, and they come together and they believe in now that they are, husband and wife from time past. And this lady was quoting, she gave reference to the Bible in defence of AJ, and she said she's heard him speak and his teachings and stuff, and agrees with him. And she agrees with the Bible, that the Bible does say that Jesus Christ shall return again. She wouldn't say a verse. But then later on, another comment she made, she rejected the Bible. And this is why she rejects the Bible. It's because she says that the Bible teaches that gay people should be executed, should be put to death. Now, in Christian society, certainly in Western European Christian society, there has been and is no call for gay people to be put to death. It does happen in Islamic societies. In Islam, places like Saudi Arabia and Iran, and that if you are caught in a homosexual act, or if you're accused of being homosexual, you can face the death penalty for doing so. That's not so for Christianity and the Christian church. But she quotes this verse from the Bible, Leviticus 20 verse 13. Now, of course, we live in a free society, and people can be gay. I applaud the change in the law that people would used to be put in prison for being homosexual. I don't think that was a social law, and people did used to use the Bible to actually uphold that. That people who committed homosexual acts would be in prison, and society has moved on, as society should do, and I think true Christians were behind that, of defending people against injustice. And I'm not saying, of course, that it was all Christians, but Christians have always been involved in promoting human rights and the dignity of mankind. But the Bible does say, as you rightly point out, in Leviticus 20 verse 13, that if there is a man who lies with a male, as those who lie with a woman, they have done a detestable act. In this particular chapter, it does say the death penalty should be called for, that they should be put to death, because their guilt, their blood guilt, is upon them. What concerns me, however, this is where I'm going to debate on, because this whole gay marriage and that sort of thing has been debated, and it's still ongoing on gay rights, etc., and how Christians should deal with this issue of homosexuality within the Christian church. People who have homosexual tendencies, who are practicing homosexuals, or who are repenting of their homosexual lifestyles. These issues are still taking place, and they're still being debated. But I wonder, with this woman who uses virtue by association to promote her own beliefs, when she believes that AJ is the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, and then says, the Bible says Jesus Christ will come again. Now that's correct. That's accurate. Yes. Perfect. The Bible can be trusted because the Bible says so. And then she turns around and says, gay people should be put to death, which is easy to come out and just make a sweeping statement such a way. And then says, well, this is why I reject the Bible. Isn't she guilty of putting a value judgment on that though? Is it her value judgment she's putting on here to say that it's wrong for the Bible to call for the death penalty for being gay, and then citing that verse to actually say that being gay and practicing gay sex is wrong, to condemn, it's wrong to condemn it? Isn't that a value judgment? Just as much as a value judgment to actually turn around and say that yes, it is wrong to be a practicing homosexual. Because let's look at this in context, shall we? If verse 13 is correct, and it is wrong to have gay sex, then verse 14 is upheld as well. If the Bible, however, and the call of God is wrong to say that gay sex is wrong, does it make gay sex okay? And in which case, does that mean that verse 14 is okay? What is verse 14? Verse 14 says, if there is a man who marries a woman and her mother, they've committed immorality. Is that okay as well, to actually marry a woman and then marry her mother? Joseph Smith, incidentally, the guy who founded Mormonism, did this. The Bible says that's an immorality, but is it okay in our society? Let's look at verse 12. Actually, this isn't about marriage. This isn't about marriage. This isn't marrying. This says, if there is a man who lies with his daughter-in-law. So she's married to the guy's son, but he has sex with her. The father has sex with the daughter-in-law. The Bible says that's wrong. Is it wrong? Verse 11. If a man lies with his father's wife, I think that could be taken as with his mother. It could also be taken in a polygamous society, like several Islamic societies and Islamic communities, where a man might be married to more than one wife. So if he lies with a woman who is his father's wife, not his mother, or it obviously could include his mother as well. Is that wrong? Or is it right? Is it wrong for the Bible to condemn it? That men should be able to sleep with their father's wives. Verse 15. Verse 15. Is verse 15 wrong? Have a look at verse 15 in chapter 20. Is it wrong? If it's wrong to condemn verse 13, is it wrong to condemn verse 15 and verse 16 as well? Because 15 and 16 are the same verses, are the same issues. One's particularly for a man, one particularly for a woman. Is it wrong to condemn it? Should we be saying it's okay? That's all I'm asking about. Let's not worry about the death penalty, because verse 18, chapter 18 deals with these issues on death penalty. So without death penalty, which says that these people shouldn't be part of society. But only here. This whole context of verse chapter 20 is actually in the context of people who have rejected the law of God and started living lifestyles and worshipping foreign gods, specifically the name of Moloch, the god Moloch here, of which child sacrifice was part of the lifestyle and the worship. Okay, this is. Are we saying that it's okay? Because if it's wrong to speak against gay sex, we're not talking here on people's feelings attracted to other people. We're talking about the physical acts, the physical act of having gay sex. Okay, then people who go and have sex with other men and other women who are not married to them, who are married to other people, married to members of their own family. This is being condemned. Okay, in these chapters here, and in the context of, and why it appears to be this way, that the death penalty is applied here, because it's so tightly mixed up with the worship of gods who want children sacrificed to them. They used to grill children alive in the worship of Moloch. Babies would be roasted alive. And all of this is here in this worship of Moloch. This total social breakdown is being condemned. So, is that wrong as well? To respect elders, to protect the lives of children, to tell people not to steal, to tell people to be honest in their business transactions. Let's look here. Okay, you've got this issue. Okay, you shall do no wrong. This is Leviticus 19, verse 35, for example. You shall do no wrong in judgment, in measurement of weight or capacity. Okay, if Sainsbury's were fixing their scales and heisting money off you, okay, would you shop at Sainsbury's anymore? Wouldn't you take your business down to Tesco's? I'm going to say, in this climate, in this economic climate, if the Bible is so wrong in condoning this, which has been pointed out, if that is okay now in our society, why isn't everything else okay? Or is it? Tell me if you think that it is okay in our society to just be flippantly okay and say the Bible's wrong for condoning, for condemning this particular aspect, but it's not okay for everything else. It's not okay. Can you justify it? Is it okay to be having sex with animals? And people who want to have sex with animals should be allowed to have the same freedoms, the same marital rights, whatever, as anyone else. Because I just feel that this verse is taken out of context and then used to for a political thing, knowing that it's going to get people emotive. Oh, we can't say anything wrong about the homosexual community or anything like that. When that's not really that's not really what the issue is here. That's certainly not how it was being used in the context of whether AJ was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ or not. Okay, but one person uses the Bible to say it's true and is reliable, and then they bring in something which is more of a politically charged comment to promote their things. I just want people who would agree to turn around and say, well, the Bible is wrong to condemn homosexuality and condemn homosexual acts of same-sex unions, okay, and would quote this verse to turn around and then tell me that the same rule doesn't apply for verses either side, and particularly for the bit about child sacrifice. I just want you to come out and say that it is morally okay for people to sacrifice their children to foreign gods. It's okay for a man to have sex with his daughter-in-law. It is okay to do that. Just come out and say that. Please be honest. Okay? Just to think about that. Now, I'm not saying we have to agree on everything, and I'm not even saying I agree. So, with the death penalty, I don't call for the death penalty. I don't believe that the New Testament teaching is there for Christians to go executing homosexuals. People have gay feelings, or whatever, or gay tendencies, or effeminate tendencies, cross-dressing. I'm not talking about. So I agree with that. That's a social law for a specific group of people, and obviously in a society where the peoples around them, the nations around them, did practice these sorts of things. But to just blatantly come out with the fact that I don't follow the Bible because the Bible says to put gay people to death. Are you saying it's because homosexual sex is okay? Well, if it's okay, then because you condemn this particular verse, it's one verse amongst actually what has got several heterosexual sins involved. Identifies several heterosexual sins. People having sex with other men's wives. People having sex with the wives of their sons and their daughters. People having sex with their aunts and uncles. And then of course people go on to have sexual relations with animals as well. Okay, I'm just talking about, where do you draw the line on your value judgments in condemning the Bible for saying that something is wrong. Okay, and then to go on and use other parts of the Bible to promote your beliefs over someone who I consider to be a false prophet, a false Messiah. Okay, what's your justification for doing so? I'm just thinking that maybe you should think about these issues before you just blatantly come out and promote them. Think about it. Just have some thoughts on that.